asked that a lot.
By all your fans.
My mom asks me that all the time. I am a bit of an influencer. Hello. Welcome to the podcast, Two Girls, a Guy, and a Dog.
No, we just said it was a toast to travelers. You can't change
Welcome
the name
to
mid-podcast.
Toast to Travelers.
Cheers. The first toast to traveler. So you are Caleb. That is Emmy. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I am the Director of Recruitment at Next Move. I've been with Next Move pretty much since the beginning, since we started. Prior to that, I was an ICU nurse for 7 years, and 5 of those I was a traveler.
So we ended on chaotic things. We've talked about the qualifications, needing 2 years of experience, ideally, otherwise you'll pull a Caleb.
Yeah.
I think we should just
Pulling
coin that
Caleb.
term.
Yep.
Pull a Caleb.
Absolutely. It can
you
be
know
used.
what you're doing.
It can be used.
Like a small
Yeah.
panic attack.
It can be used, yeah. It's like, hey, I want to go to the bathroom, and then have a panic attack in the bathroom, and then come out and just be like, I'm cool.
I'm
Let's do
good.
it.
Just pull the minor Caleb.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I'm all right. I'm in minor Caleb right now.
We talked about qualifications, talked about you finding an agency. Let's go back to you finding the agency. So you found yours through a referral.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is, I feel like, kind of the way most new people get into it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you were to just Google, like, travel nurse agencies, there are so many agencies now.
Thousands and thousands everywhere.
There's a ridiculous amount, and depending on what you're looking for, like, it's important which one you pick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for a lot of people, the way that they're going to get into it is through a referral. I mean, referrals is what drives a lot of our success. But having a good recruiter experience is a big part of it. So if you're a traveler and you really trust your recruiter, then yeah, I mean, you're going to pass that person's information along. I gave my recruiter's information to a lot of people because I asked her a lot. Yeah.
What were the things that you liked about your recruiter?
She just really understood my style, which was I don't like talking on the phone, and like I want everything done through text. And
Very Gen Z of you.
very Gen Z of me. Like, yeah, I want to get set up on the assignment and then just leave me alone.
Okay.
So that was.
So you
pretty
didn't
much
want
it.
like touch points throughout your assignment. You didn't want them
No.
checking up on you, and she
No.
respected that.
Yeah, she.
Like,
I
fine,
mean,
don't
over
respect you either.
over the course of 5 years, she just kind of figured out she didn't need to check on me, and that I would reach out if I needed something. Honestly, anytime that we talked on the phone, it was just like to talk to each other as friends, and we didn't really talk, about work.
Just
because
chit-chatting.
we just chit chatted. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. So it depends. I mean, if there are recruiters out there and nurses out there that want lots of touch points, want to be walked through everything, and have kind of maybe like a white glove service of having everything, feeling like everything is set up for them. And then there's a lot of nurses and recruiters out there that are like, hey, kind of transactional, almost of, like it's a partnership. I'm going to set up everything for you or whatever. And, the traveler knows what they want. They'll hand it over. They don't really want to talk to. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So would you say that your relationship with your recruiter was more important to you than the agency itself?
yes,
Okay.
for sure.
Okay, so at this point you've found your recruiter through word of mouth, and so you had a conversation with her talking about where you would want to go, your experience, that kind of stuff. What did you do next? So before you've landed an assignment, like what do you have to give to her? What do you have to do?
Yeah. So the kind of the standard traveler package, resume, 2 references. I did a skills checklist. The skills checklist, by the way, it's a self-assessment. I actually really hate them. They are a standard across the industry. Every agency has to use them. Every nurse has to fill one out. But it's a self-assessment, and you pretty much have to rank yourself as, it's a scale of 1 to 4. Your average needs to be a minimum of a 3. And so it's a self-assessment, just, I guess, give yourself a 3 or 4 on all of them. Because if you answer those truthfully, I'm going to go on like this tirade real quick against skills checks. But if you answer them truthfully, your score should be like a 1.4 or a 2.
Oh my.
By the end of my travel career, working at a lot of different hospitals and, working in a lot of high-level facilities, and I still, if I answered those truthfully, would end up with a 2. because one of the things that they rank you on is your frequency, and you may not see a stroke patient every single week. So that may be a 1 or 2, and that's the same for almost every single thing that you can run into. So it drags your score down. So what I normally tell people is, if you can walk into the room and you're comfortable with whatever you're ranking yourself on, that needs to be a 3 or 4. I may not see a stroke every week, but if I walk into a room and someone's having a stroke, I know what to do.
Gotcha.
So that's a 3 or 4.
Okay.
Okay. And
Tangent over.
rant on that.
Okay.
We did skills check. They're going to verify your license, supporting documents, so certifications, ACLS, BLS, and anything else that's relevant. If you're a peds nurse, you're going to have PALS, trauma nurse, TNCC, anything that's relevant to the position that you're applying for. And then now, typically a COVID vaccine. If it's flu season, you're probably going to need your flu vaccine proof. You get all that together. Your recruiter will put that together for you. You just submit that information to them. They'll build a submission profile for you.
Gotcha.
So the big component on there is the up-to-date resume and having it formatted in a very, very easy to read, so that the hiring manager knows immediately what you're the person that they're looking for.
Gotcha.
So I usually tell our recruiters that the hiring manager should be ready to hire you halfway through the first page. They should be able to look through your key points, your qualifications, and say, yeah, this matches all the criteria we're looking for, and at a minimum, the minimum expectations, and then the additional stuff that makes you stand out a little bit.
And typically recruiters will help you format your resume, tell you maybe gaps that you're missing, things that you need.
Yes, a good recruiter will. So
That's caveat.
Yes, caveat there. Yeah, a good recruiter should be doing that, because it's in the recruiter's best interest as well. They want you to get a job, right?
Sure,
They want the traveler to get a job. So they should be kind of pimping out your resume to make it look good. So
Here, next move, we pimp out your resume.
So that it looks good, so you can get a job. So some of those things, certifications and stuff, is to get a scanning app on your phone. I used CanScan forever, but that way you can have all of your documents in one place.
Mm-hmm.
You can take pictures of everything and then save it in one folder, and then just keep that as your folder the whole time you're traveling, because it gets really annoying having to provide that information and track it down.
I can imagine. Well, and most smartphones now have the ability to scan documents. So really, if you've got a smartphone, you could probably just scan all your documents.
Yes.
Keep it in your notes app in a folder.
You could do that.
And then just email that to your recruiter.
Yeah. I mean, back in my day, we had an app for it, but now, these kids and their phones that automatically scan. Yeah. We got that.
Okay. So do you have to resubmit all of those documents every assignment?
Yes.
Even if you're with the same recruiter?
Yes and no. So something like a resume, your recruiter can probably just update it with your most recent assignment, so shouldn't really have anything to do there. References have to be done annually, so depending on how much time has gone by, may have to resubmit something like that. Same with skills check, annual, and then certifications, as long as they're up to date, and they're fine. But more or less, if you're with the same agency, it should be way, way easier to do that and get submitted to the next place than if you switch. But that goes back to having everything in one spot, because there are a ton of agencies out there. You may want to submit to a few different places or submit to a few different agencies. In that case, that's where, yes, you're going to have to send all that information over and over and over again.
Gotcha. But ultimately, if you find an agency that you like, and more importantly, a recruiter that you like, probably easiest to stick with them for the most part?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I was with my recruiter for, I think, 12 out of 14 assignments. And actually the other 2 were with John Nolan, our CEO. So he was my recruiter.
Nice little plug for John there.
Yeah. I mean, the remainder were with my recruiter, Michelle, who I absolutely loved. So, yeah, I did it because it was very, very easy. I really, really liked her, but also just ease of use. It made sense to stay with her.
Yeah.